Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review slash anniversary review slash revisit review. And another anniversary review for a film from 1999, which I reviewed this already, but just for here, for the sake of for it's been 20 years. And this is another thing that for another film, say it's been 20 years since this film came out, and I can't believe it's been 20 years, because it's like I said this film just yesterday, back when I was a kid, So here I'm just revisiting the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, the first movie, and which you can go look back on my channel. I reviewed all the Pokemon movies except for. Did I review that one? I don't think I reviewed the last one. That before The Power of Us or I Choose You, those movies, but it was that last one before of the XY movies. I don't think I reviewed that one. I can't remember. But until then, I reviewed all the Pokemon movies, from this movie all the way till was it Hoopa? Yeah. So, but Pokemon the first movie, this came out in 1999 in America, although it premiered in Japan like the year before. But this is during the height of the popularity of when Pokemon came out, around the time like a couple years before this movie came out. And like I said before, Pokemon is another childhood thing that, to this day, is still popular enough to over 20. It's been out like 22, 23 years now. Pokemon is still amazed that Pokemon is still popular today, still, especially when earlier this summer, which I saw and reviewed, of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which I enjoyed, and still is how Pokemon still is popular still to this day. And the Pokemon the first movie, at the height of the popularity, was just being launched now. They wanted to get the first movie off the ground, so came out with Pokemon the first movie, introducing of the two legendary Pokemon, Mew and Mewtwo. AKA also was called Mewtwo Strikes Back. And I enjoy this film still to this day. 20 years later, it's still back then, like, it was not. First of all, it was not loved by critics. It wasn't loved by critics when it came out, because it's aimed towards kids. Well, duh, because it is a kids thing. Pokemon is a kids thing. That's why it's aimed for a kids audience. But critics don't. But basically, critics took a shit on it, basically, and that's why it has a 15% Rotten Tomatoes, although it has a 6.2 on IMDb, but I give it higher ratings because, well, this is me, because I've been a big fan of Pokemon for a number of years, and to me, it's still a good movie. When it came out in November of 1999, and had a very decent opening weekend, about 31 million at the time was the biggest opening for an animated movie or for based on a video game. Made about 85 million domestically and worldwide 163 million worldwide. So it was very an instant success after that, and ever since then they've been wanting to make more movies. Like the next year in Pokemon the movie 2000, and then etc., and Pokemon 3, and etc. There's been one coming out like every single year since then. Well, after like the Pokemon Heroes, like the last one was like debuted in America, and then the rest has been straight to video. So, but Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, and I mentioned this before when I reviewed this, like when it has with these first movies, they had a short, like with a mini movie called, this one's had Pikachu's Vacation, where Ash, Misty, Brock's Pokemon, they have this place where Pokemon can run and play in. And I mentioned before I mentioned this before, like when they did these mini movies to the first few movies. Why they not show the Ash, Brock, and Misty's faces? Because we don't know who they look like from the show. Why do they just like hide their face or not show their face? So like they're up or whatever. I never got that because we already knew what they look like. So to me, making that showing their faces was pointless. And then Meowth was in it as well. Like he was I felt like he was by himself in the next two ones. Well, in this one he had Arbok and Weezing in it, but the next two ones he was like by himself. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into Pikachu's Vacation. You can check out on my original review for this, where I give more details about the Pikachu's Vacation mini movie. So, but I'm here to talk more about the first movie. So, in the first movie, how Mewtwo was created from the DNA of Mew from Team Rocket, and realizes what his first impressions of humans, how he first hates humans, and basically blows up the facility, basically killing the people that are in it. You know, you've seen that because the head doctor there, or like the lead, says, "Oh, we've created the first Pokemon and we succeeded," and then boom, destroys the whole facility, including with the people in it. And that's when Giovanni, the leader of Team Rocket, uses him as a weapon to like capture Pokemon and more uses of his powers. Until at one point he's had enough of Giovanni, so he destroys his building, but Giovanni escaped because that one scene where he destroys the building, he flies off. That was in an episode of the first season of Pokemon, when Team Rocket, Jesse James and Meow said they were gonna, when they approach that building, they say, "We quit." They were just gonna turn around and run away, but then that's when the building exploded and they see something fly off. That was Mewtwo. So that one little connection with the first movie, with that one episode. And clearly, Giovanni's fine because Team Rocket saw him after the wreckage. So, since then now, his first impressions of humans, he hates humans. So, and then we get to with our friends Ash, Brock, and Misty, Pikachu. This one trainer challenges Ash, and then during that you have the different theme of the Pokemon theme, different theme though, a reversion but of that theme. So, and then he gets Dragonite. Mewtwo sends a Dragonite to give Ash an invitation to this one thing where this place where like for strong trainers. And then he creates the storm, and then where they get to this one part here where a Pokemon Center is, but the Nurse Joy that works there is missing. And the storm catches on. Some of the trainer, there were some other trainers that were selected as well. They say, "Oh, the storm's too dangerous," but they go off anyway. Like one has a Gyarados, one has a Pidgeot, which is funny later when they get to that place. That one trainer says, "Oh wait, I decided to fly over thanks to Pidgeotto." Really? Yeah. Back then, like there was like some things in the old episodes they say names wrong, especially this movie. Not only this movie, but three times in this movie they get names wrong. Like that one trainer says, "I decided to fly over thanks to Pidgeotto." It's not Pidgeotto, it's Pidgeot. Or the other one, where the second time, where when during the scene where Mewtwo was taking all the Pokemon to get with his special Pokeballs and the machine to get clones, and then wherever a Pokemon is being cloned, it shows a projection of that Pokemon that's being cloned. and Team Rocket is there, and they're naming Pokemon, right? That's being cloned. One shows a image of a Scyther, but they go and say Alakazam. Yeah, when is a Scyther? When is it Alakazam looks like a Scyther? Yeah, this image of Scyther, and he goes, "Oh, there goes Alakazam." Or another one when the clones are being into those tubes where they are, and Meowth is saying the first one he says Sandshrew, not Sandshrew, Sandslash. So I mean like 3 times to get like the names wrong. So first, Pidgeotto, which is a Pidgeot instead of Pidgeot, or Scyther, saying Alakazam instead of Scyther, or Sandshrew instead of Sandslash. But I've seen a lot of some of those obvious mistakes from the show too. But here 3 times in this movie though they get names wrong. I mean, do the people who wrote the script for dialogue do not know what Pokemon is which? So yeah, or maybe it was left on purpose so maybe we can notice the wrong names. I don't know. But anyway, then they decided that Ash decided to go. They couldn't find a way to get to the storm, but there was a boat. So like Team Rocket posing as Vikings, but then they fall off. Then they get to the place safely. The woman who's on the invitation and tells them to come, and then Brock instantly knows that's Nurse Joy, but she's been hypnotized by Mewtwo. And they meet the other trainers. They see the run the master of it, and it's Mewtwo. And they're saying, "Oh, well, Pokemon can't be a Pokemon master." Shows off his power. So that one guy, in the water has his Gyarados uses Hyper Beam, blows it back at it. Or when the other trainer who says Pidgeotto instead of Pidgeot, he has a Rhyhorn, charges at it, stops it, and throws it back. And then relieves Nurse Joy of her hypnosis, of her trance. So then, he goes to the battlefield where he has the clones of Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. First the battle of Venusaur, the clone uses Vine Whip to deflect the Razor Leaves and throws the Venusaur back, which that trainer calls a Brute. And then you have the clone of Blastoise defeat the girl trainer's Blastoise named Shellshock, and then it's Ash's Charizard versus the clone of Charizard, which when he first summons it and just goes and blows, uses flamethrower on Mewtwo and deflects. He says, "Your Charizard is poorly trained." But then they get the fights. The clone is too fast for Charizard. Defeats it. Then the Mewtwo uses get his special Pokeballs to capture all of them, all the other trainers' Pokemon to get clones. And then the one scene where Ash tries to protect Pikachu from being captured, and falls all the way to that machine. And then he grabs a Pokeball, but it's too late. Pikachu's been cloned, but he ends up wrecking the machine anyway. And then all the clones are there, and then Ash with the original Pokemon. And for some reason he goes, wants to hit Mewtwo. He goes like, ah! He goes and just deflects and sends him flying, but then he's saved by Mew. And Mewtwo wants to fight Mew to see which one of us is more superior. So then, Mewtwo has his clones fight the originals, and then that's when we get that song by the Blessed Union of the song "Brother, My Brother," performed by the Blessed Union of the Souls. Brother, my brother, tell me what we fighting for. We've got to end this war. Yeah. Which I enjoy that song. When I first heard that song, yeah, it's her. When I first heard that song, when I first saw the theater, I like that song. Brother, during the whole clone fighting sequence, yeah. Brother, my brother. That's just one thing I miss about with the films like these, when they put in some songs like that, you know, back in the day. Miss those kinds, you know. So. And then, even with Meowth he wanted to fight his, but they draw their claws at his clone, but they decide not to fight. And even Pikachu sees the clone of himself, but he doesn't want to fight, even though he's getting his butt kicked, but the clone keeps telling him, fight, like slapping him, fight, and doesn't want to. So, then between the fight, Mew and Mewtwo, they're ready to get a blast again. Ash steps in, gets caught in the blast, and then, as you know, basically dies, petrified, turned to stone. And Pikachu tries zapping him, does nothing, and then he starts crying. Along with the other Pokemon, all the other Pokemon, they start crying. The magical tears brings them back. And then Mewtwo comes to see that now not all humans are bad. Hence, what Ash has done. So because of that, you know, he decides to take him and his clones to someplace else. He erases the memories of everybody there, and they end up back to where they were at the Pokemon Center. So, and then Ash and the others, they just continue on their journey. And which, hence, when then the sequel, Mewtwo returns. That's why they don't remember Mewtwo, because he erased their memories. But he doesn't do it. But he doesn't do it that time in that sequel. But I reviewed it, so you can check back on my review of it. And then the one thing that gets me, when I reviewed all the movies, including the one, it was the black and white one, Genesect, which I said before, I like the one, but the main issue of all the movies I reviewed, the one issue I have was with that is Mewtwo female, clearly talking with a female voice. I'm like, there's only one Mewtwo that was ever created from the DNA of Mew, and it was this one. Now with this, with that one in Genesect, you know, it's like it seemed like this is the first time like he's seen Ash. I mean, if he was seeing Ash, remember seeing Ash, we would have remembered from the first movie and the second movie of that when Mewtwo returns. But clearly that's not the case in Genesect. Clearly doesn't remember seeing Ash. Otherwise, he would have said something. He's like, "Oh, it's you again," or something like that. And the whole thing of making Mewtwo female, did not like that. I mean, and then all of a sudden, that Mewtwo learns how to evolve himself. But I'm like, it can't be like the same Mewtwo from the first movie. Otherwise, it would have remembered all that stuff. But it shows when Mewtwo was created again. Although a little different version of it though. But that was the main issue I have. I liked the movie, but that was the biggest complaint I have. Like, of all the movies I reviewed, and I had very little issues with it. But that was a big issue. It was Mewtwo. Maybe him become like a female, and then if that was the same Mewtwo, they messed up on that, because otherwise I'm going to say, "Oh, I recognize you. I've seen you before, Ash, and that Pikachu of yours." So, but you can check back on my review. I was bringing up the same nitpick I have on that. But yeah, Pokemon the first movie, 20 years later, I still enjoy it. Just, you know, with the animation of that back then, you know, the quality it was back then. I miss that. But I still enjoy Pokemon the first movie. Still enjoyable Pokemon. Still an enjoyable Pokemon movie. Probably people don't like the first one because maybe that's why it gets. Well, critics took a shit on it basically, but I'm sure the people who are fans of Pokemon like I do, I'm sure they still like the movie this movie to this day. But yeah. For features, has the story of Mewtwo's origin, sneak peek preview of the second movie, 2000. Ash's journey, a full-length audio commentary with the English adaptation director and the producer. Then you have a music video, the soundtrack of M2M's "Don't Say You Love Me." But the most iconic song I know that from this soundtrack was "Brother, My Brother" by the Blessed Union of the Souls. Brother, my brother. So, but yeah, I still enjoy the film. So 20 years later, Pokemon the first movie, I still give it a thumbs up. You know, because I've always been a fan of Pokemon, still to this day. And I earlier this year I enjoyed Detective Pikachu. I reviewed it. Yeah, which is a good way to celebrate 20 years with Detective Pikachu again. So, but yeah, I still enjoy the first movie. Mewtwo, still a badass Pokemon. Which I'm speaking with Detective Pikachu. I mentioned this, which they made a canon to the first movie, where the scientists in that building where Tim Goodman and Pikachu were investigating. They have that holographic image, and they're saying that the lead woman scientist who was creating the R, that created the R, is like, we finally caught the Mewtwo that escaped from Kanto 20 years ago. So yeah, it was to me that was cool that they referenced the first movie, so they made a canon to the first movie. That movie, they made it seem like the Detective Pikachu is canon to the first movie, so it takes place but live action, the same universe as Pokemon. So, in Detective Pikachu, this is in it 20 years ago. The same Mewtwo that escaped from Kanto 20 years ago. And this is 20 years ago, and in Detective Pikachu, Ash would be in his 30s. So, if they make this a sequel to Detective Pikachu, just don't pull the whole thing, oh, Ash still hasn't aged. It's 20 years ago since the first movie. Ash, by this time in Detective Pikachu, he would be in his 30s, so don't pull that whole theory that he doesn't age or whatever. Like, hey, he's been throughout this whole entire show. Don't start pulling that, otherwise you're probably gonna piss fans off. He's not immortal. He's just a human. So if you're making a sequel to Detective Pikachu, you make Ash in his 30s. That's how it is. If the makers of that are making the sequel, if you don't know about this whole thing by now, you guys are idiots. So you make Ash properly. You get someone in their 30s or whatever who look like they're in their 30s. Cast somebody as Ash. It's not that hard to do, and I'm just going over the top on those, but I'm just saying. I'm saying it would be just silly if Ash remained a 10-year-old again, even in the movie. But if it's live action, you can't do that because it said the same Mewtwo that escaped 20 years ago from the Kanto region. The first movie, Ash would be in his 30s, including Brock, Misty, and Team Rocket would be a lot older as well. So, if you're gonna do it, I look forward to seeing a sequel to Detective Pikachu. If they're gonna bring Ash, Misty, or Brock, or even Team Rocket, make him look older if it was when they were 20 years ago in this. It's not that hard to do. So, but yeah. I was getting off topic because I brought it up because they mentioned this from the first movie, the same YouTube that we saw in Detective Pikachu, is the same one, which was cool. They made canon to this. That's why I was bringing that up. But yeah, 20 years later, I still enjoy the first movie. So thanks for watching my little revisit / anniversary review / yeah. Yeah, that was like a review / revisit / anniversary review. But I still enjoy it to this day. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews. Later.